Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because we are going to be kicking off our Christmas decorating for 2024. If you missed all of the other Christmas videos that I have made this year, we already did some shopping and some browsing on the internet, sourcing some new pieces, getting inspiration from online. We've done so much to prep for today and for the next videos to come, so I'll have that whole entire playlist linked down below. But today we're starting with the Christmas tree. And while I'm putting up the tree, I'll be sharing with you guys a bunch of easy and affordable ways to make your tree look designer, make it look very full and festive for the holidays. You're gonna see some brass in this video, traditional red and green Christmas colors, and I have some new elements that I'm going to be incorporating this year that I haven't done in years past. So super excited for today's video. If I use anything in this video that can be linked, I will have that linked down below. So if you're interested in anything that you see, make sure that you check that out. But I think we are ready to get started. We have to go and get our tree, bring it up here, clear out the space for where it's gonna go, and we can get started. So let's talk about this Christmas tree. We just got this Christmas tree last year from Hobby Lobby. We got a really good deal on it. I believe we got it maybe a week or so before Christmas. And basically we went to Hobby Lobby, we were looking at the Christmas trees, and we noticed this one marked on clearance for $159.99. And basically on the box it says that the top is bent. So what we did was we actually opened it up in store and we realized the top was bent, but because this is an artificial tree, we were able to just bend it back. So we got a super good deal on this. There's nothing wrong with it. It is a 9-foot cashmere Sierra pine tree. I love the sort of fluffiness of the branches. It looks very realistic. And we have very tall ceilings in this corner of our house, so it's gonna fit this space perfectly. I've never set this up by myself before, so we're gonna see how this goes. Okay, the tree is all set up. It's already looking really good, but before we start decorating it, we need to do that extra step of fluffing it to make it look very realistic. So basically what I've learned is you find a spot in the tree and you want to sort of make a star shape with the branches. You want to spread them out as much as you possibly can, and you really just want to bend the branches a lot, fill in all those spaces. So I'm just going to do this all around the rest of the tree and we will start on our decorations. Now that the tree is all fluffed and beautiful, it is time to add some texture to the tree. This is the first step that's really going to make your tree feel full and decorated and just very festive and give that organic look. So I have two different elements that we're going to incorporate. First, I have a bunch of pine cones, and these are just some really big pine cones that we found in the backyard. It's a really nice way to fill in the gaps on the tree and then also add a little bit of contrast and warmth. And then every year I really like to add a pick. I picked these up from Hobby Lobby this year. They're just these really simple white, almost berry-like branches. They're $2.99 originally, so I got them for $1.50 a piece, and I believe I have 7 of them. So between these two elements, we're gonna add a lot of texture to the tree, give it a lot of dimension, and then we'll start adding in garlands and ornaments. First, I'm going to start with these picks. I like to spread them out a lot, sort of the same as like when we were fluffing the tree, is really just make sure all the branches are all sort of in different directions. They're all just spread out so it can make the most impact. So like I said, I have 7 of these. A really good rule of thumb for pretty much anything interior design is to have an odd number. So basically I'm just going to start with one in this general area and then just sort of spread them out as much as I can. That way it's sort of evenly dispersed all the way around the tree. And I just think this contrast of the cream against the green is gonna be beautiful. Another thing I like to do with picks is actually arranging them in sort of a diagonal. So if we have this here, we sort of naturally go around the tree. It sort of ends up like this. So it's kind of like garland. You sort of follow the same lines, and that makes it look very natural and just very put together at the same time. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to see these on camera, but in person they make such a big impact, especially with how much texture they have. You guys saw some of these really big pine cones that we have. We have a few different sizes, some that are a little bit skinnier and longer, and others that are just really big and have so much texture. I always love to add a natural element to my tree and just to my decorating in general. You're gonna see so many pine cones in my Christmas decor this year, and it just adds such a nice, cozy, homey feeling. So kind of similar to like faux trees they make, some of them actually have pine cones on them, and it just makes it look more natural, like we went and chopped down this tree from our backyard when really we didn't. So I like to put these all over the tree. Sometimes I will group them together if I have some smaller ones, and sometimes I'll just do one big one by itself. And same thing, we're just going to evenly put these all over the tree, fill in some of those gaps, and again add a little bit more color and a little bit more texture. Tree is looking nice and full and textured. It has that beautiful organic feel to it. It's coming off quite a bit more in person than it is on camera, but hopefully you're able to sort of see how much it really does to elevate the tree. So now we are ready to put on our garland. So we picked up this garland from Hobby Lobby last year. It's just a wooden bead garland. It also has these sort of pom-poms on there that are sort of a natural, almost wool texture. I'm not sure how many we have to work with here because we tied them all together last year into one big garland. I want to say somewhere between like 5 and 7, but this is going to bring a lot more texture and also contrast to the tree. The tree is very dark. Besides the picks that we added, there's not a lot of creaminess or a lot of like bright contrast. So this is really going to add to that and also bring in a little bit of a different texture from those wooden beads. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to sort of play with the spacing, see how much I can sort of put in between each row. And we're just going to keep on going down the whole height of the tree. Just now realizing doing this solo is gonna be a little bit tricky, but we're going to make it work. Ornaments are my favorite part of the whole entire Christmas tree process because I feel like that's when the tree really starts to come to life and it starts to really come together. We have a really good base, we have lots of natural elements, lots of texture, lots of interest for your eye to look at, but now it's time to actually add in some ornaments. So I have a couple different ones here. I have some brown velvet ones as well as these cream and red spheres. They're both from Hobby Lobby, they're shatterproof, and they're both about $10.99 package for 4, and then they're usually like 50% off. But the brown ones are gonna add a little bit more depth, sort of go with what we already have, and then these cream and red ones are really gonna pop off of the tree and start adding in that little touch of red. After this, I do have another plan to add even more red to the tree. That way it sort of goes with what I plan on doing decor-wise in this living room. So I have 12 of each of these. I'm just going to evenly disperse them all throughout the tree, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do next to add even more texture and then a bit more of a pop of red. We just have a few more things to add before we add on our final touch that's really gonna bring this whole entire tree and color scheme to life. So I have a couple different boxes of ornaments here. This one is just like some decorative bells. They're a little bit sparkly. These are from a long time ago, and I believe these ones aren't shatterproof. We have a few brass elements as well. These are just some very simple gold spheres, so those are really fun. And then just a couple like fun sort of woodsy ornaments. I have like this little reindeer. He's very rustic, just like a little woodland animal. And then like a little rustic birdhouse with some pine needles and little snow on there. And I also have like this little Santa. So just a few more like filler fun ornaments that still sort of go with the theme. Same color scheme and everything, same sort of vibe. And then we're going to add a little bit more of a pop of burgundy to bring it all together. Lastly, but most certainly not least, we're going to add, like I said, a pop of burgundy, a little pop of red. I wanted to add some red, but I didn't want it to be a very saturated, sort of orange toned red. I wanted it to be a little bit more muted. So I ended up finding this ribbon here on Amazon. I'll have it linked down below, but it's sort of a chiffon fringed ribbon. I love the sort of raw detail on those edges. Just looks very natural. It's gonna again add a lot of texture, and you probably know where I'm going with this, but I'm going to tie some little bows to put on the branches. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna tie them around the branches or just tie them in advance and just sort of pop it on the end of the branch. So when you buy these on Amazon, I'm not sure exactly what the lengths are, but you get 3 of these little spools of ribbon, so lots of ribbon. Basically what I think I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna end up tying them on the actual tree just because it'll stay up there better. And something I love about this ribbon is it makes beautiful sort of like floppy bows. So they're not perfect. They sort of just droop a little bit, but they still have that really beautiful bow shape. So I'm not sure how many I'm gonna end up doing, but they're all gonna be the same length once I sort of figure out how long I should make them and sort of see how long I wanna make the tails. So I'm going to start with this little branch right here. Wondering if this is a good length. It's about 2 feet, so I have a foot extra on each side. I'm just gonna tie it once around that branch. And this is the part that's gonna be a little tricky, but this is a pretty forgiving material. And I'm hoping we're just gonna make a cute little bow here. And there we go. That is adorable. Alright you guys, that's going to wrap up today's Christmas decorating video where we decorate our Christmas tree. I hope you guys got a bunch of ideas to decorate your own Christmas trees at home. It really doesn't have to be the super expensive, elaborate thing. It's actually very simple to make your Christmas tree look high-end and full and festive for the season without having to break the bank. This is my favorite tree that I've personally ever decorated before. I really think the bows just really add a good pop of color. There's a lot of texture and I just love the way that it all came together. Let me know in the comments below which part of this tree is your favorite. If there are any of these pieces that you want to pick up for your own tree, or maybe some things that you've added to your tree this year, I'd really love to know. Again, make sure that you guys stay tuned for more Christmas decorating. We're going to be decorating the living room and just so many other festive things are going to be coming this season. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me on my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season so far, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye you guys.